So yeah, where do our emotions come from? So this is a quick video about like projection. When we are 100% responsible for our emotions and our words and our behavior. So when we make mistakes, we can say sorry to ourselves or to other people. We can accept responsibility. We won't say, I did that because of you, like you made me do this, or you made me say this, or you acted bad, so then I snapped at you or attacked you verbally or physically. We don't want to say like I'm like a puppet or a muppet and we can own up to losing control, sure, but we have to take responsibility for like we're the ones who lost control. But even when we don't lose control, if we react unconsciously, we have to own up to that. We can own up to that. We have the invitation to own up to that, okay? So that's really important what I just said, like super important. We are accountable and responsible for our actions, words, and behaviors, okay? As well as our inactions, our non-words that we could have spoken but didn't because we didn't know better or we weren't aware of it at that time. And yeah, everything, okay? So the opposite, the unconscious thing and the disempowered thing is to blame others for our emotions, okay? That's just called victimhood. And sometimes when we're rooted in victimhood, which is a lower frequency, which we can let go of, because any lower frequency holds us back and holds us down from becoming our higher self and more of who we truly are in the physical life before we die. Because when we die, we're going to suddenly drop everything that is holding us back and holding us down. But we can do this and become our higher self in physical form while we're still alive, okay? So that's the path that I'm on. I'm not some people, and maybe I was to a certain small, tiny degree in the past. So many of us are on the path of escapism, trying to escape. We want to escape our emotions. We want to escape the story we're telling of the world. My story of the world is beautiful, majestic, and gorgeous, and there's such crazy potential and wondrous, beautiful stuff that I definitely want to stick around and be alive for. Like the timeline that I'm going forward into is like all the things that I want to coming true for the world and me on a personal level too, career, work level, family level, health level, friends, family, just like wonderful things. So, getting back. So when we tell a story of victimhood, then that means we keep talking, we have a real strong, solid idea, of something like they did this, they did that, like I'm just a victim, they perpetrated, they were really bad. And this is okay sometimes for a temporary purpose if we're talking to like people who don't just gang up on the person you're talking about, but people who actually listen, hold space for you, and like care for both people. They're not trying to join forces to destroy anyone. No one's made into an enemy or like, a disgusting person. Nothing like that. So that's the difference between talking to people who are healers or conscious friends or conscious family and unconscious friends, family, or etc. So there's no ganging up on. There's more like a sense of I care for you, like I hope things work out. Like there's a sense of healthy unloading, like healthy sharing, but especially when you're more like a consciously type of person where you're responsible for your emotions as well. You're not just saying I'm the big massive victim, they did this, look I'm now wrecked and ruined and how dare they, and the hell with them. So a different story is I'm responsible for my emotions. We both partook in a situation. It could be dating, it could be somebody leaves you, dumps you, rejects you, it could be an argument, it could be divorce, it could be breakup, it could be whatever the case would be, it could be your neighbor was unfriendly to you, somebody was really loud. There's all sorts of stuff where you don't like something that's happened, okay? So everyone who triggers a strong emotion in you is called a messenger to end your mess, a mess ender. Okay, I've talked about this so many times in the past. So really every challenge is an opportunity for growth and healing and ultimately becoming a higher self in physical form. So everyone is a good messenger. Okay, we don't want to keep repeating the lessons though, because we want to learn the lesson and the same lesson won't repeat. So if we learn the lesson of, let's say, an abusive relationship, we'll just leave, or we will transform and they will transform if we're both in a semi-conscious to a conscious relationship. If we're not in a conscious relationship and we're with someone who some people call like an abuser, what we do is we leave if we learn the lesson. But we're not all blessed with the same lessons at the same divine timing in life. So sometimes lessons go on for longer, and that's okay. But if we learn about this type of video during the lesson, which many people haven't in the past and they stuck around for decades or in an abusive relationship, if you happen to be blessed on your soul path to wake up at the divine timing where you're used to watching a video like this, then you'll get help, you'll get healing, and you may get space and step out of the relationship potentially if they're not able or willing to change. Okay? So at the same time that we are still responsible for our emotions, okay? The more we can step into that, the better. And we can create our life consciously and purposefully and very, very, very positively when we're empowered without creating a big dramatic story or feeling of victimhood, okay? Now, we can be victimized, but we don't want to like hold on to that story. Like, we can be perpetrated against, but we don't want to hold on to that story. We want to like learn the lessons, work on our heart, work on letting go of what holds us down and holds us back, work on stuff like compassion, love and kindness, unconditional love, but also learn the lesson of not being like kind of an abusee or a walkover for extended amounts of time, because we all make mistakes, we all have little slip-ups, we all have little falls, but we don't want that to last like for years, you know, where either us or another person is being abusive and extremely disregarding. You know, we want everyone to learn, and we want to be on everybody's side. So it's always important to get support and help from either conscious people, conscious friends, conscious family, conscious healer, etc, 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 etc. I do that, by the way. If anyone's interested, just like message me. I have awesome books coming out too, and video courses. So yeah, I'm going to end this video because I better go, but the last thing I basically want to say is it's only when we step out into our uncomfortable zone that the really good growth and really good experiences that we learn from happen. So if we don't expect to be always feeling comfortable in your bubble of comfortability, that's not how life works. That's not why we've come here to live. So as we may like grow and gain knowledge and wisdom and love more, and we may be comfortable for a while, and this was happening in my life, but then something will pop up where it challenges you, it brings you forward, it teaches you a lot, it triggers you for some healing from the past, like emotional detox. Physical detox and emotional detox aren't fun, but emotional detox is less fun and more hard, in my opinion, for sure. It's like past wounds are being triggered, and that's where we have to step in and go within instead of blaming, and go and take responsibility and learn and see what our greatest traumas and triggers are, and take ownership and respond differently than the way we used in the past. From step out from reacting from a more reactive, unconscious state of potential fight or flight or fight, and step into a more heart-centered, responsive, responding, careful way from our hearts, which causes the least damage and promotes the most healing for everybody, including the family if there's children involved, or even just the two people if it's just an ordinary partnership. So yeah, I've experienced all of this, know exactly what I'm talking about, and deep lessons and challenges. So yeah, welcome or be okay with uncomfortableness without creating a big story of like how it was terrible. You know, some things can be really arduous or even terrible to a certain degree, for sure. I'm not trying to say bypass your emotions, but just don't stick to a really negative story. Like, see the seed of opportunity and light in every experience, and practice forgiveness, unconditional love and gratitude and appreciation. And when you practice compassion and kindness, unconditional kindness and compassion, that's when you've let go of a lot of and forgiveness. That's when like you're not really fussed about creating a deep, big negative ego story in your head. You're not holding on to anything heavy. It's more like had an experience, they had an experience, have love and compassion for all, have deepest compassion, even extending gratitude, forgiveness, unconditional love and care, appreciation for the positives. You take the best and the most biggest positives out of the situation and of the people, and you don't hold on to things like the heaviness of grudgery and resentment. You let all that go. You let go of non-forgiveness. When you let go, you feel bright and light, and then you bring in appreciation and you're rocking it. You know, that's the way I've been in my life, but it takes a little bit of time to practice. So yeah, for anyone who's going through a breakup, a rejection, an abandonment, going through maybe anger or even violence, going through physical or verbal even abuse to a certain degree, or even just like sort of like any issue really whatsoever in the entire world, this video can apply to you, including a health loss, certain physical loss, a monetarily loss, even a certain maybe personal loss to a certain degree. That's a deep one, and this video isn't aimed at like physical, like, you know, personal loss. That I really want to hone in specifically on that. And yeah, so yeah, everyone, yeah, I hope this video helps you like so much. It's been the first live video I've made in a long time. I hope this helps from the bottom of my heart, from the top of my spirit. You know, there's so much to learn. Wish you a beautiful day. Keep thinking of the best about people. And I'll talk to you again in another video. Lots of love. So if anyone like, lots of love. And I'll talk to you again another time. If you like any herbs or coaching or books, check out my thing. Befriend me on Facebook. Yeah, all my links are below. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And you keep rocking it. You're awesome in your life. You're wonderful and you're worthy and beautiful. And so are we all.